Hello, it's another wet day here in the South UK, well, all over the UK really, and I would say no end in sight. There's no end in sight for the next day or two. There's a delivery driver just arrived next door, that's why you might be able to hear my dogs barking. But there is an end in sight, but it's not for another few days, and it's properly raining as well. I'm just sat here under my porch. So I've got an incredibly rare day today. I've got a day off work on a Monday to Friday, which at the moment is really rare. It shouldn't be. I'm supposed to, well, I'm trying to structure my life that I have at least one a week, but that hasn't been the case for such a long time. It feels like a real treat. I had a slow start to the day. It's about 11 o'clock now, and I've not long got out of bed, I won't lie, but I've spent that time doing things. I've been editing videos and I recorded a few podcasts and stuff. So yeah, no, just it's a real treat. And I've got to take all of my kids, all three of them, and myself to the dentist later. That's about 4 o'clock, 4:15, I think. So my day's going to be truncated that end, and but I'm super chilled. Just going to enjoy it. Whatever I get done today is a bonus. So I'm going to take these eggs down to the egg shop now and pop them on the side of the road. And then I think the next thing I'm going to do is make a nice big shepherd's pie for our dinner. I love cooking, so when I've got a day off, if I can do a bit of cooking, make some nice big meals that will stretch out for a few days or go in the freezer and things like that. It's a real treat. I really enjoy it. And then obviously I'll have to milk the goats before I go off to the dentist. So I'm not sure that I'll get a tremendous amount else done, but what I am definitely going to do, and in fact, I'm going to do it straight away. I'll go straight to it before going in the house. I've been going on over the last few videos about how I'm a bit behind with my planting out and sowing. So I'm going to get and do some of that. This weather is a bit miserable for taking a walk with the dogs. It's a bit miserable for pottering around, but it's fantastic for planting out and for sowing, direct sowing, because everything's just getting a great watering in. And all the plants that I've sown out while we've had this weather have just taken on fantastically, so it's definitely good for that. That's going to be the next stop. We'll go down to the egg shop and then stop off at the polytunnel on the way back. Just want to quickly show you in our other polytunnel as well, where we haven't been for a while. I wanted to show you my potatoes first of all. These are my first earlies and second early potatoes, and look, already we've got flower buds on there. So these guys have done incredibly well. I've got them in super early. I did a video, I can't remember what it was called, something like super early potatoes or something. I got these in far earlier than you're recommended, and I'm gonna get potatoes far earlier than you're recommended as well. I haven't been in this polytunnel much because the potatoes have got nice big buckets. They've been earthed up once as well. It's far less important to earth up your first and second earlies than it is your main crop potatoes. But I haven't been in here very much. They've got nice big buckets, so they don't need frequent watering. And the tomatoes along the outside, I hardly water either. Because they're by the outside, by not watering them with all this wet weather, I'm encouraging them to send out roots quite deep to get that water that's going to be coming from the outside. Like I say, we've had so much water outside. I think it's probably a week or more, probably 2 weeks since I even thought about watering these. But look, we've got our first flowers on our tomato plants. I'm so excited, everything's coming on. I need to get in here and have a good weed look. It's a bit of a state. We've also got some strawberries coming through, as happens every year. Some strawberries coming through from the outside. So the rain's eased off a bit, so I can come up and show you the ones we planted outside. And we planted these at the same time. You can see these two rows here. They're not doing nearly as well as those ones in the bucket in the polytunnel, but surprisingly, so we had row covers on the first sort of 2/3 of the row, but not at the back. And it hasn't made a great deal of difference whether they've had the row covers or not. We've had a little bit of a failure rate here, although they're still coming. They're just behind. There's probably 5 potatoes that for whatever reason haven't kicked on. They got hit harder by the frost, I guess. We've lost a tremendous amount of foliage to the frost on these potatoes. I haven't done much with them. So once I put the row covers on, and even the ones that didn't have any protection, that was it. I left them to fend for themselves. So the frost hit them and it took out a lot of the foliage. But as you can see, it's not killed the plant. They've come back. So I'm really happy, really happy. I don't think I could have got any further ahead. I'll have to go back and check the video because I can't remember if I put these guys in at the same time, but I think I did. So the frost covers hasn't made a great deal of difference, but having them in the polytunnel definitely has. So those guys have, you know, stormed on, and they're well ahead of any other potato that I would have if I hadn't got them in earlier than you technically should have. So really happy with that. So I'm going to do a bit of planting out now and get some of these guys out. See, got all my sweet corn plants here. I've got two different varieties. These are all Gold Crest through here, and these are called Conqueror. And we've got about 30 of each, I think, give or take. Although the Conqueror, they're both brand new seed packets, and the Conqueror germination rate has been much lower than the Gold Crest. I put 3 sweet corns in each of these, with maybe one of them might have only had 2 or whatever, because it was the end of the bag, and almost every single one of these has germinated. And back here it's 1 or 2 in a pot, only 1 pot with 3 in. That's very interesting. So I've got most of my courgettes out. I'm going to plant out a few more now. I'll focus on the ones that are more desperate to get in the ground. So we've got down here some cabbage, which you can see is desperate to get out. This is really, really desperate to get out and be eaten by the pigeons and the slugs and the caterpillars. So we'll get that out today. And what else? I think the pumpkins can live a little bit longer. I've got some radishes down here as well, so I'll get these guys put out too. Oh, and my spring onions. They're definitely desperate to get out. So I won't be able to, I'm not going to film most of that because it's pretty miserable out there, but I'll quickly get those in, and then I'll meet you back in the kitchen. So I've just come running in out the rain. It's raining quite heavy out there, and I think I'm going to make a run for the house. I've got most of it done, and I can always come back out later if it clears up, but I did not sign up for this. I'm going to shut the polytunnel behind me and then make a run for the house. So I've got dinner on, and like I say, we're having a cottage pie tonight, so that's all getting ready. I'm just boiling my potatoes to make some lovely mash. And what a lovely meal when it's miserable outside. Cottage pie or shepherd's pie, just a really lovely warming meal. It's still raining. It's not quite as heavy as it was earlier, but it's still raining. I might have to just get on and get back out there. There's a couple of things I want to get done. So I've decided I'm going to milk the goats after we've been to the dentist. It's 2 o'clock now, and I actually need to leave the house at around 3. It's really difficult because I like to milk the goats at the same time every day. It's quite important, and the dentist appointment is sort of at the worst time possible. The dentist appointment is at 4:15. The children come out of school at about 3:30, so I've got to meet them and just kind of like sit with them because the dentist appointment is in the same town as their school. And it means whichever side of that appointment I milk the goats is, the same amount of time away from the perfect time, if that makes sense. So I think I'll do it after. I think there's more chance it's going to be dry then. I want to talk to you about my yogurts. I'm starting to experiment with our yogurts a little bit, and really getting some great results. I'm making this strawberry, is it called a compote? I'm not sure, but the bit at the bottom, it's basically just sort of stewed strawberries and honey, and with a plain yogurt. So you stir that in and get a strawberry yogurt, and obviously I can make that almost in bulk. The only ingredients in there are strawberries, a little bit of corn flour, and honey. I'm really excited about that. I'm going to make some, hopefully if I've got time, I'm going to pick up some raspberries today and make a raspberry one and a blueberry one. So yeah, and then obviously sprinkle a little bit of the fruit on top, and because you eat with your eyes first, it's really important how things look, I think. So I'm really excited about that. But what I'm going to do now, like I say, it's 2 o'clock. I need to leave the house in about an hour, which doesn't give me enough time to do anything big. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go out, I'm going to go and collect the eggs, so that's a job that isn't waiting for my wife when she gets home. Yeah, and finish making this, and then that's gonna do for today. But today was a catch-up day for, this is gonna sound, I'm like really self-absorbed and really self-obsessed and, whatever the words are. But today was a really important day for me. It was like a catch-up day for me. And that's not to say that I deserve one any more than anyone else. We all live incredibly hectic lives. My wife works, so I do all of the sharing on the YouTube channel because it's not in my wife's nature. She really doesn't like being on film. She really doesn't like anything like that. So she's never going to appear on a podcast episode, and she doesn't really like being in the video. So you guys see everything I'm doing. And I know you already know this. My wife works just as hard as I do. When I'm out working, doing a day's work, she's at work as well in a school. And she might finish a little bit earlier than me, but then she also deals with a hell of a lot of the childcare that I don't deal with, so she's getting all the kids home from school and sorting out packed lunches and all that kind of thing, which is just incredibly stressful. I couldn't do it nearly as well as she does. She works just as hard as me, and I'm not trying to suggest for one second that, I've been working so hard and I deserve a day off. But we all deserve a rest sometimes, and it's our own personal responsibility to make sure that we take that time. And today's been a really nice day for me to do that. Like I say, it's 2 p.m, and I've done plenty, but everything I've done at my own pace. I haven't tried to set myself any targets of what I wanted to achieve. I've just had a really relaxed day, done a little bit of planting, went out and played in the rain with you guys, done some cooking, and I love all these things. I'm not doing anything stressful today, and the only sort of regimented time commitments that I have are the dentist with the kids later, and obviously the goats, which is a case of it has to be done as close to 4 as we can. So other than that, I'm being pretty relaxed on myself today, not setting myself too much to do, and I feel great for it. It's nice sometimes to wake up and sort of flick a switch and say, whatever I do today is fine. That's it, simple as that. And we should all do it, and yeah, I could have got more done. I could have got up at 6. I could have achieved things in the garden, but would I feel any better for it in a week? I don't know, I think just taking the time to chill out and relax is as important, as vital to us to enjoy all the other things we're doing as anything else. So I could have cut a hedge today or 2. In a week's time, I'd see that hedge cut, and that would make me feel good. But I'm going to feel even better about all the other things that I'm seeing because I'm taking the time to enjoy them and just relaxing a little bit. It's just a good day. It's a good day. I'm feeling good. So just a quick one today, not a great deal happening. Oh, you might have noticed I've got some cheese hanging up. This is day 3 of this cheese making. Tonight we'll be just basically potting that up. That'll be a nice lot of goat's cheese, and yeah, there you go. Please make sure that you subscribe to my channel if you're interested in the things I'm doing here. I'm releasing videos at the moment every day. I don't commit to doing them every day, but that's what I'm doing at the moment, and as long as I have time, I'll be releasing videos every day. There's also the podcast, which I've been told I don't plug enough here on the YouTube channel. It's the Self-Sufficient Hub podcast. We release 3 times a week, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and we talk about all the same sort of things that I talk about here on the YouTube channel. If you don't listen to podcasts, then maybe just come and check out an episode, see what you think. The links are all in the description down below. And podcasts, if you're not familiar, they're free. And they're basically like radio shows. They're radio shows that download directly to your phone. They're free to listen to, and they're just ready to go. You pop your headphones in or your car Bluetooth or whatever it might be, and listen to a radio show. And I love them. I love podcasts. So come and check us out there. Also, another thing I've been told I don't plug enough on the YouTube channel is our Facebook group, Self-Sufficient Hub on Facebook. We've got a group there. Come and join us. Come and say hello. Show us what you're doing. And with that, guys, I will check out, and I hope you guys are all looking after yourselves as well, and I'll speak to you really soon. Cheers.